Alright, so I'm going to be doing another comic review from another comic sent by my good friend, Chris, aka the Mount Vernon Kid. Chris, thank you once again for sending me the comic, and can't wait to see what else comes my way. Anyway, so we're going to be doing a review on the Darkhold. What is the Darkhold? Now, for those who are not fully initiated in your deep Marvel lore, or you just saw the damn book in WandaVision, the Darkhold is pretty much the Necronomicon of the Marvel Universe. It was created by this demon god named Chthon, who... It's a fucking Necronomicon. That's all you have to know. So in this comic, Doom has discovered the real, almost called Necronomicon, it's the same thing, the real Darkhold, like the one true Darkhold. Even though there's been tons of other ones that have been called the one true Darkhold, this is definitely the one. But unfortunately, Wanda, who was bonded with the book, finds out, rushes over there, and Doom and Wanda are like, oh shit, we've awoken the true Chthon. Like, Chthon's gonna go god of destruction on the world unless we stop him. And the only way... But, however, Doom's like, fuck that, I'm Doom, motherfucker! And he just goes in the realm, gets spat back out, and he's like, this is scary. They find out Doom's herald, Victorious... that's a whole thing from Dan Slott's run. Basically discover that the only way to stop Chthon is by calling together the 5 Darkhold defenders. 5 people who could withstand the madness of Chthon's realm and the Darkhold for a short time and put him there in the first place. And they're the only ones who can stop him. They were known as the Dreamer, the Hunter, the Artist, the Stoic, and the Fool. And the 5 people they pick for these roles are Iron Man, Blade, Janet, aka the Wasp, Black Bolt, and Spider-Man. So to get more into the story is that basically the only way to get the powers to fight Chthon is to read from the Darkhold. The 5 guys gotta read from the Darkhold and get powers to become the Darkhold defenders. And they read the 5 of them read the book, and then they get infected with madness. And don't laugh. No, you can laugh, seriously. Become this. Yeah. Does that not look like total ass to you? Like that especially that giant thing you see that looks like Sabretooth, like a black Sabretooth, that's Blade. Like, they really go with the red and black design, and I guess they're trying to go like color scheme, and they fail miserably. Like if they just did it with Wasp, because out of all of them, Wasp looks the best, but literally all the other designs, this color black and red design just looks like straight up ass. And the story is basically, you could literally just read the first, it literally feels like a 2-part book, but there's 5 stories in here of the 5 stories that drove our heroes into madness and became the Darkhold defenders, or defiled, or whatever the fuck. And yeah, they read from the book, and it's like from a multiverse, a dark multiverse, if you will, where all of these stories have a bad ending. Does this sound familiar to anyone? This is literally Tales from the Dark Multiverse. This is literally 5 stories where they do Tales from the Dark Multiverse. Like, okay, the first one is literally a story where Iron Man, where Tony becomes Iron Man for the first time, but the armor, is body horror kind of stuff, and it's actually not a bad story. It actually, the artwork does feel like very Francis Francavilla. I had to make sure it's him, it wasn't. And it's a very, body horror kind of story. It's actually not bad. Then you get to Blade's story, where more or less, vampires rule the world, and Blade's now, wants to be God. This one's really dumb. The artwork's not bad, though. Then you have Janet's story, which is... Janet's story's not bad. If anyone does go with the Tales from the Crypt kind of storyline, it's her. I think hers is, kind of like a mindfuck story, really. It's a lot of fun. We also have... Black Bolt's just god-awful. Black Bolt's is just like, am I Black Bolt or am I Maximus? Black Bolt, Maximus, Black Bolt, who the fuck cares? And then you have finally Spider-Man's story, where Like, the universe is, like, falling apart on a molecular level, and only Spider-Man's webbing can hold everything together. He's also married to Gwen in here. The artwork's not bad, but the story itself is very Tales from the Crypt, and it's very body horror, and it just wants to be gross out. Literally, you could just not read the 5 stories and just stick with this 2-part story. Yeah, it's a cool Scarlet Witch story, and it's nice to see her actually not get shit on repeatedly or die. It's nice to have a Scarlet Witch story. Yeah, I'm just happy we have a Scarlet Witch story where she's not getting, like, raped or possessed or fucked over by her family or killed or something of that nature. Here, it's like, yeah, Wanda takes charge in here and is like a master chess player, which is really cool. I also like how, like, when Tony and Janet arrive and they see her with Doom, they're not like, oh no, Wanda has turned against us. They're like, oh, so this is a problem. Oh, hey, Wanda, what's up? Because that's what, like, a lot of people forget that, like, Wanda has more in rapport with the Avengers despite all the shit she did in Disassembled. Like, they were like, yeah, Wanda, you were you were mentally ill, that's cool. Whereas with the X-Men, he's like, oh, you're the boogeyman, you're the one who ended the X-Men race. Yeah, it's kind of weird. But yeah, this story, like, I would say if you see this like a $5 bin, I'd say check it out, or at least just find back issues of the 5 issues if you want to check out like some fun body horror stuff. And also, the 5 Darkhold Defiled could be literally interchanged at any point. Like the Dreamer, like, okay, I get why you picked Tony as the Dreamer because he's like a futurist and an idealist, but you could literally change that to like Mr. Fantastic or Captain America. He's a dreamer. He wants a better tomorrow. The Hunter, you could have, like, I know, like, Blade, obviously, he's a vampire hunter, but you could have picked, like, fucking Kraven the Hunter. I know you're trying to pimp him out for, you know, his new movie. The Artist, like, again, Janet makes sense because she's a fashion designer. But, yeah, there's a few other, like, that one makes sense. The Stoic, you could have, like, Black Bolt, alright, sure, whatever, but you could have gone with, like, Black Panther, Wolverine. Like, there's a ton of characters in Marvel. Like, Moon Knight, there's another one that's stoic. And The Fool. Literally, where do I begin with that one? Like, you could have just interchanged that one with Spider-Man. Like, obviously, you have Spider-Man, but you could have used Deadpool, Iceman. Literally, like, why does it have to be these 5? They don't talk about, like, why you pick these 5 specifically to fight Chthon, and also why these 5 are the ones who can, like, hold back the madness from the Darkhold. Kind of makes no sense. I think this comic was just meant to be like, let's do a fun Halloween story and pimp out the Darkhold from WandaVision. Yeah, people will dig that. Like, that's, I think, the only way this kind of justifies this book, really. Yeah. I hate to shit on this, really, because Chris sent me to this out of the kindness of his heart, and I am not putting this on Chris. Chris, I know you're watching this. This is not on you, man. I'm really thankful that you sent me the book. There are parts of it I did enjoy, but it's just not good. Like, it's just not for me. This just was not fun. Now, the other ones I have done on here recently, Captain America Truth and Batman the Imposter, were both really damn good. Go check out those reviews. But this one, I would say, this is $20 in trade. I'd say give it like give it like a $5. This is $5 trade at best. Or if you want to check out back issue of it in the back issue box, if you want to check out like the Darkhold stories. Because really, this is a thinly laced story just to do Halloween spooky stories. Anyway, but regardless of how I felt about it, Chris, Mount Vernon Kid, thank you again from the bottom of my heart. And as always, if you haven't already, hit the link below to my Patreon if you haven't already. Other than that, I'm Mr. Multiverse. I'll see you next time in the Multiverse.